It's time for version 2, ladies and gentlemen. So if you missed team building with Jam, man, you guys killed that fucking video. Good God. I can't tell if it's just the subscribers or like, yo, I'm trying to tap into this team building, or if it was just people discovering the channel through it. Regardless, it's the video that's done the best on the channel since like the release. Like the early videos did amazingly on like 10K. But yeah, that one's already at like almost for a little over 4,000, and it's only been a few days. And so shout outs to y'all. Couldn't have done it without you liking, commenting, all those things. And that allowed for many more people to discover the channel and get value. So again, I'm always one to give thanks because I can't do this alone. And we're trying to get competitive content, how to improve your rank, all these things. We want to make that easy and available for everybody who needs it. And so I need y'all to keep doing what you're doing. Now we're gonna hop right into it. This V2, last version we had guard chomp and things of that nature. This guy was #1 at one point as well. It's funny, so I said to y'all, like we're both past #1ers on the ladder. We're in the 1800. I'm in the 17. But I say that because, as I mentioned before, once you get past that, oh my goodness, the fear of the loss. Oh no, I lost and I don't want to test things, or if I lose, this means I'm not good. And once you get past that, you realize if 2 previous #1s can lose 300 points, you know, more or less, then you guys can gain 300 points as well, right? It's not some special magic trick. So that being said, let's break this down and see what this team has in store for us. So GRENINJA, upon hydro pumping, only has 1 water resist am I ice? Yeah, I'm not icing on this. In this, so GRENINJA is quite lethal. Excuse me. Golden Go is alright. It's okay. This guy good for the spin blocking. Shim Pop on swords dancing. Murks him. Depending on what his pow is, I can murk him. Meaning if he's jolly, if he has Sacred Sword more specifically. But pow is a huge win con. If I was Sacred Sword, I'd 6-0 him. But I'm not. And so we're going to keep pow. Garganical is that guy. I'm probably not going to turn him into fairy. We'll see. I think this Roaring Moon might have some trickery up its sleeve. But my go-to guy in this game is going to be my D-Knight. That's who I'm going to bank on. And Shiempa is going to support D-Knight by weakening Hatterene. Great Tusk is going to weaken his Great Tusk. Though I kind of need it for my for his King's Gambit. But I think I can get around Gambit a little bit. I don't want him to weaken me too much. Great Tusk is also a problem because he can't switch into it. So we'll see. We'll see. Phase 1 is likely going to be staring down his Tusk or his Xianpao. His Tusk would be very risky though if you can't guard against GRENINJA. So I don't think you ever lead Tusk. I think he probably Hatterenes. What's the worst case scenario? Worst case scenario is Xianpao. So he leads Tusk, but he speed boosts. Okay, that makes sense. Huh. Which is good news for my D-Knight. I could go hard my Tusk. How do I want to play around this? So obviously I could my Tusk is really important though, especially if I Terra Water. What do I want to do here? It's a tough turn. Speed boost, which means he has low attack. Sorry if I'm taking a bit. I just don't know what this is gonna do. I guess in the worst case scenarios, be what? I should be straight. I don't want to tear my Garg, so I'm gonna go hard Tusk. This is fine, allows me to spin. He shouldn't be doing too much to me, right? And then we're gonna have a 1v1 off with the Tusks, right? Which, as I said, he doesn't guard well against, so I don't mind a 1v1 off, especially when you don't have a spinner. Actually, is it best to spin again? No, it's not, because Hatterene should come in. He's still faster than me, obviously. He's weakening me, which is a big deal. 39%. His Earthquake's doing, I was gonna say more than I expected, but not really. Yeah, there's the Hatterene. It's eject. Okay. I was like, he must have some external, secondary solution to this, because this just doesn't make sense. And this one is plus speed as well. I see on him. There's some gimmick dude has up his sleeve. I just can't tell what it is, and so I'm playing in a way where it's just unlikely the gimmick can catch me off guard, right? D-Knight should be able to come in and check this. I don't want to go hard Garg. If he's plus speed, would he have, like, why wouldn't I go hard D-Knight here? Could he 2 kill me with anything? I'm gonna go hard Dragonite. I don't want to energy ball on a Garg switch, right? And I'd assume you'd sack Hatter. I'm gonna roost. Yeah, okay, excellent. The reason I roosted there is because I don't want my multi-scale broken as he goes Hatterene on sack. As he goes through Great Tusk. Great Tusk is an odd one because if I start DDing, you get swept. What do I want to do here? If I go to my Tusk, he gets the EQ, and my Tusk gets weakened. Okay. That was a gamble, but it paid off. So I go Tusk here. I gotta be mindful of his gambit, because now what this allows for me to spin and kill him. Because now, fuck, bro. I swear they always get the fucking crit. They always get a crit on my Tusk when they most need it. And so she empowers in. I don't know what it's gonna do, but we go hard Garg here. I want to keep this so I can always take a sucker punch from the gambit. He hasn't terrestrialized yet, and if he does, Garganical can take any +2 hit. Yeah, I mean he hasn't you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna Terra this. I'm gonna Terra this and Salt Cure. He could be like sub or something. I'm a little wary of the Roaring Moon. Some shit has to, the way he's playing. And the reason I'm saying this is a sub Terra Dark Crunch. He gets the defense drop, which matters because now he can crunch again. Otherwise, he'd have to go for Icy Crash, which wouldn't have killed me. So that's. But based on that damage, I think he's max. So he Terra'd, which means Gambit can't Terra, which is good news. So the question is, what do I want to do next? Shimpao eats the rest of his team once this dies. So my options are, I guess I have my Gren. I'd have to hit a Hydro Pump, but this is probably out of it. So what I'm gonna do is actually give up my Goldengo. Probably like, Jambo, Goldengo was at full, wasn't it? Yes, it was at full. However, let me see, 1, 2, 3, crunch. You could have Sacred Sword, I doubt it. I'm pretty sure I'm faster. This allows for me to Icicle Crash because he Terra'd. Yeah, that damage seemed adamant as fuck. And he doesn't know anything about my sets. And my Great Tusk is live. Again, I want that Gambit to be Earthquakeable. Because one of the few mons that one of the few mons that, so he only has Roaring Moon, and as long as I have the Shienpao, the Roaring Moon can't get out of hand. Shienpao plus Dragonite. It's one of the few mons that could get out of hand if I'm not careful. So fall into so we Hard Tusk. He's gonna Iron Head, I'm sure. Yeah, which I'm fine with. So let me think now. If I go D-Knight, it forces him to stay in, which then means Shienpao bodies everything else. I want him to stay in. I don't want my E-Speeder gone. I'm not gonna sack the E-Speeder, but I don't want some random because I'll take nothing from that. And I'll EQ again. You should expect a roost, but I wouldn't die from Sucker Punch, so he didn't expect a roost. Roost there was pretty likely. All I need to do now is go for extreme. No, I go hard Garg. Yeah, he should DD, but Garg will take him on swimmingly. So I cure, because it's not stab aggro like Garg eats. Aggro does 44, and that should bring him in range of Ice Shard. So all I need to do there is Salt Cure spam. Not having Sacred Sword here blows a lot, because what the Gambit's gonna try to do is come in and he goes hard to the Gambit. Okay, which means %. I don't know the roll on Gren, which is what's concerning me. So I roosted my Dragonite. I probably should have roosted the first turn. There was very little risk with the turn he sacked Hatterene. So that was a misplay there. So it seems like things are just normal. I just don't know the roll on Gren's Sucker Punch versus a Fallen 3. And then we're going to have to play the games after that. So I'm just going to crash twice, which will 2-hit KO. Oh, it doesn't even 2-hit KO. Kowtows. If I hit again, and I go... gotta go, Gren. Iron Heads. If Iron Head did that much, that means, what's it called, doesn't knock me out. Sucker Punch doesn't knock me out. 52, yeah, Sucker Punch never kills. So I hit the Hydro, which is great. And all I need to do now is Spike. Then I go D-Knight. Extreme Speed knocks this out. Right, and I'm outside of Gambit's range. So having Sacred Sword alone would have made this game so different. Right, because Shienpao's outside, so it goes Gambit first, so he's going for the crit sucker. We roost here every time. He had to go for the hoping that I'd go for the crit sucker there. I don't think Moth 1 can take a crunch, but I don't even think it can KO me. We just extreme speed here into crunch. No even reason to risk. I don't know how much Sludge Wave was gonna do, but no reason to risk it. So yeah, I played that again cautiously. 2 reasons: dude's a competent player, I'm sure, but also I just felt some trickery coming my way. Really, somebody passed me recently a Terra Bug Mint, so I was like, okay, is this guy one of the Terra Bug things? So that's a great example of when you should just, particularly the Goldengo sack. The Goldengo sack was big because Goldengo, if you look back at his team, was a horrible matchup. I ended up losing Great Tusk anyway. But having Goldengo, let's say I sacked Great Tusk instead and kept Goldengo, the Gambit wouldn't feel pressured to Ironhead. And I don't know the roles of Gambit versus Grin, especially with all the attack boosts and all that stuff. So that was more of a case of, I'm not 100 on the calcs for this. And he seemed to be an incredibly bulky Tusk. I mean, Gambit. So that made me even, because you saw how much he took from Earthquake, from an Adamant Dragonite. So moving on to this game, I'm glad he has a Dondozo so we can see how we fare versus that. If I was like the Terra Water Curse Garg, just destruction, just pure, unadulterated destruction. So Goldengo is that guy in this game, that guy. Particularly Terra Flying. So what I'm probably going to do is remove his Glamora early. Once Glamora is removed early, then what's it called? And my Goldengo will have nothing to offensively threaten it. Nothing that can't beat. I don't know much about his team. Xianpao can do work, but it's not incredible. Garganical might be unguardable depending on what his Goldengo is. My Dragonite can destroy him, but he has a Dondozo. And so it's going to be about the Gren Goldengo show with Garganical as support. So the question is, what can I guard against? Gomora is annoying. It's not really offensively problematic, but this is annoying. And what's his face? His face, Goldengo, is annoying. What's the lowest risk? Staring down Glamora. Okay, so Astra Azu, turn 1. Grass Knot's not very strong. Actually did not I didn't account for Azu being such an offensive problem to me, actually. So this was a poor lead on my end. You always account for, so yeah, this was a pretty sloppy situation. Playros. Fortunately, because of Garg's insane attack, I can actually Salt Cure him, and it'll do a fuck ton. And I can Terra, which he doesn't want to deal with. I don't think he wants to risk Terra. If he Terras his Azu, okay, so it goes Gamora. Gets the T-Spikes, which blows, but it's not the end of the world. Does affect my Grin, but again, it's not the end of the world. This is his only hazard control, right? Okay, so Grin being poisoned is a big deal, but it does mean that the Goldengo is gonna have to come in on my what's his face? You know what I'm saying? Goldengo is gonna have to come in on my so phase 1 is gonna be switching rocks, exchanging rocks with him. What is this? Spikes. If he Immortal spins, it's not the end of the world. I can get the rocks back over his guard, but I figured he'd probably just spike, and this is too problematic for him. What do I want to be? Extra sensory. I mean, you'd never go Tinglu hard on a fucking Greninja. I just do not want to miss this pump. I'd actually prefer to stay water type. I'm gonna pump Stu and Dondozo. Man, had I nodded there, it was a wrap, but you never not that turn. So I'll spikes this turn. I'd expect a scout. Nope. Okay, he rests. Okay, so that's fucking phenomenal. Xianpao, very confused by those decisions. So Xianpao destroys and he dies to, was he Dondozo, not very effective. Alright. So the Dozo is what's his face? Okay. As we discussed, Azumarill is an issue. So if I go my Goldengo, so you want to hold positions that cannot be defended. And in this position, Xianpao cannot be defended. I don't want him switching into, it does give his Azu a switching, but I don't mind the Azu right now, especially because I'm going to be running through his 6 with this Xianpao and a few. Yeah, I don't think that's... He's gonna go for, what's his face here? The waterfall. But, because I went to guard last time and I have no, like, water resist, really. But now my Dragonite is lethal, which is just a matter of time. I just need to see what his... What do I give up, Garg, or do I give up Tusk? If the Garg, I can't get poison, Garg is still a bitch. Garg is still a bitch. And Tusk might be able to take Rough plus Jet. It's hard to say. I mean, Liquidation plus Jet. Yeah, it can. Please don't get that. Okay. Excellent. And so now this allows for me to knock off here. Golden goes on throughout. I don't know if it's Balloon though. It's 3,000% coming in. Okay, so it's not Balloon. It's Choice Scarf. Oh, I'm really glad to see that. Oh, I'm really pleased to see that. Really, really pleased to see that. Especially because it dies. So we Earthquake here every time. He already Terra. No, he didn't Terra. So I'm going to make a big brain player. If he Terras and tries to recover, I'm going to Rapid Spin on him. So now we get rid of this, which is great. My Dragonite's looking more and more gorgeous by the turn. More and more gorgeous by the turn. Goldengo dies, and my Goldengo wins now. So we're trying to bluff. Well, he clearly sees that I'm Boozer. Trying to bluff that I'm Heavy Duty Boots as he goes to Azu. So at this point, Garganical. I haven't Terra'd yet. Garganical Fairy is a wash, but that's not super reliable versus D-Knight. Goldengo is more that guy. He won't give me his Glamora though. Very, very interesting. He refuses to give me that. Refuses! I refuse to give you this Glamora. So I'm gonna have to knock him out with like Goldie. So I have to sack Garg to his Liquidation on Fort Plaros. That's great. If I Terra Fairy now, I actually don't die. Do I need my Fairy type? If I Terra Fairy, recover. I'll just Sulk here. Pretty sure he's expecting me to Terra soon. I'm gonna get the free switch in a Goldie. It's tough. I think his Dragonite is just a regular Dragonite. So yeah, he's expecting me to Terrestrialize and recover, but I'm not doing it, which is boning him. Especially because he just died, and it's hard to beat the Scarg because you have to go back to Azu and give up your drum. Yeah. Right. So he teched here first. And now... Yeah, and now we just Terra and Sulk here. It shouldn't be an issue because I can Sulk here his D-Knight, right? I can Sulk here his D-Knight. The D-Knight will never get an opportunity to set up. So he goes Ting-Lu. We just Sulk here spam. I mean, it doesn't really matter. The spike only affects Goldengo, which matters. But we keep Salt curing here. This is great for us. Yeah, because I don't think, since my Dragonite has its multi, the only thing I'm thinking about is like, what if it's a random Ruination? How much PP does that have? Okay, we'll just protect here. Doesn't have Whirlwind, maybe. Sulk here. Recover here. Okay, there's the Dragonite as expected. He's gonna DD as I Sulk here. Oh, he has to Terra normal, right? Unless I'm underestimating. So I go hard POW. DDs again, which is expected. I go Goldie. See E-speeds as expected. I make it rain. He should earthquake. He could roost as well. Yeah. But basically what I'm trying to set up here is a situation where my D-Knight is E-speed spamming. Yeah, because E-speed plus Salt Cure should do him in. Right. So basically what I was thinking there is like he shouldn't be able to set up enough one Salt Cure to where my D-Knight at multi-scale doesn't beat him, you know. So Garganical does its damn thing once again. Now I can see cases, and you know, somebody commented, as you saw, we lost so much points from so much points. But I told you it'd make a big difference just having the defensive option, right? Whereas I can scout around and see what people are trying to do. If you notice, both games were like that, right? We played this Garganical hyper aggressively, but nothing too crazy because I don't know what his moves were. So for example, he was Scarf Goldengo, so I could have played Garg bodied on lead, like bodied, especially if I was the damn water one, bodied on lead, right? But I'm expecting people to have a better Garg answer than Dondozo, right? And so that was a situation where, okay, let me certainly there's a solution to this, but he really didn't have any. And that right there, games ends with my Garganical at full, because Garganical is a fairy type, if you didn't know. So we're gonna grab one last one. This is not necessarily saying this is a phenomenal. Is this my team? Feels familiar about this. It's definitely my color scheme. This is like a mixture of. No, this team I got. I can't say that. I was gonna say because the reason it seems familiar is I think I have several combinations of the same team. I think I have this exact team which sits here. I have one that's Cinderace and Garg here, and some other shit. But as I said, there are 4 mons in the tier, so I'm not shocked to see stuff. Gren's phenomenal. Gren's gorgeous. But we're looking at a potential D-Knight endgame here. We want to keep Garganical at the utmost for level Corona. Xianpao is a monster. Sorzan's POW sweeps unless somebody terras, or unless somebody scarfed. So too many possibilities. So let's assess. He can't guard against Gren, meaning we have to stare down Rotom. He can't really guard well against. I guess Goldengo through this 12 Corona. He's gonna be roosting every time, and then we're gonna be having Garganical offs. Not Garganical off. Garganical Goldengo matchups. And if it's so, I want spikes. Okay, rock speed. What do I guard poorly against? I guard poorly against Xianpao. My Terra would be maybe D9, maybe. Okay, so the Xianpao is way too problematic on lead. Rotom is fairly obvious, but I need to protect the waste up pump. Evolve switches. Hard to say what that means for us. If he is, I don't want this fairy type though, because of his this isn't good. Because of his Volk, I don't want this fairy typed. It's an important time. If he goes for Hydro. If not, I'm staring down Xianpao. Okay, I'd rather play around Xianpao. Full switches at offensive, 20%. I don't know. Okay, so it goes Volky, which makes sense. He's gonna double back to Rotom here. Let's see. What I don't know the level of player. So I guess a special attack boost. Let's see if the gold. If he either has Giga Drain or the Goldengo comes in. Tusk. Interesting. Okay, so I'm gathering. So if you notice my style of play, particularly when I don't know shit about the opponent, His Tusk isn't bulk up, which is good for me to know, unless he doesn't have rocks on his team. So he rapid spins immediately, which means, okay, that's fine. 2 motherfuckers losing their items today. Unless you want to, no, you go, what I don't want is for him to rocks. I know he has it. So what guarantees me value this turn? Rotom coming in would be horrendous for us. If he rocks, Rotom coming in is not an option. Okay, we'll bulk up first. He does the dumb thing, which is what I wanted. So now here comes the wash. This isn't really a prediction. I know he's not bulk up unless he doesn't have rocks on his team. Nothing else gets rocks. So we catch Volk, which is phenomenal, because now when we get these bands up, it's a wrap. Which lets me think that, so we're going to be seeing something to counteract my Garganical come in here. So we're going to switch it up. This isn't because, oh, well, you know, this is some high IQ play or something like that. This is for the future of the game. So the way he's playing is as if he's not Clover Cloak Goldengo. And if that's the case, Garg only has a few answers, especially when I get these bands up. And the fact that this Volcarona is about to take rocks means he has no good Goldengo answers. So what we're going to do is go Greninja here first. Morning Suns, right? Because he's expecting Garganical. And this allows for us to spike. I am going to spike first. The Rotom coming in is a bitch, right? But even if I spike, he shouldn't be able to one-shot me. Unless he's not fiery, unless he's not bulky Fiery Dance. And if that's the case, then I'll just destroy him with my Dragonite. Unless he's, no, he showed Morning Sun, so he has to have Quiver Dance. So the last move is either Will-O-Wisp or, so Dragonite is what he opts for, which is phenomenal. I do not want to stare down the Rotom. Now my Tusk has been whittled, and the fact that his Volcarona's item is now gone means I'm not as scared of it. Now this could be Weird D-Knight. You know how Weird D-Knight gets down, right? Weird D-Knight likes to do hurricane things. I'm gonna go Tusk first. So it's Dragon Dance. You bulk up first. Now this could get dicey. He could just be getting impatient. He's like, fuck it. He did weaken my Tusk a bit, so this E-Speed's gonna hurt. Or this Earthquake, rather. But he's trying to he's giving me his item and DDing. Just similarly to the last game, I said with the now I haven't Salt Cured him, which makes things a bit harder. But I know he's shook by the knockoff damage. So it's really a matter. He's within range, I want to say, of extreme speed. My Tusk being gone matters a lot as far as like dealing with crunches. But I might, since he can't, if he can't hazard control of Maracas Garganical, should he might not have E-Speed, truth be told. The way he's playing, he might not have it. Say it's Roost. I considered that. Not to tear my guard. I was just setting in how problematic Dragonite could be if I let it get out of hand. So we're gonna have to just outplay this because he's gonna try to boost quite a bit. We're gonna have to play the long game for this one. And you'll see what I mean. But the Dragonite is problematic. So Terra Normals, obviously. The fact that he EQ'd that first turn is a big deal. EQ'd at 40. So we get to rocks this first turn, and he's gonna Roost. Garg is super important, but I can't win the game. If he goes for the kill on my Garg, I'll let him have it just so I can E-Speed him back with D-Knight. And then I'll have to Bloody Bath. I'll have to murk him with, so yeah. So I'm gonna Roost. Saw Cure again. As I said, I gotta outplay the fuck out of this guy. Saw Cure him again. Excellent. So we recover here. Extreme speed is doing 60. Roost, he has 5 left. So his DDs once more. Extreme speeds again. Recover again. Extreme speeds are doing 67. So I'm always outside of range. Whew, those are hurting. Recover again as he roosts. Okay, finally E-speeds. As I said, I wanted that to be the situation so I can go to my Dragonite and E-speed him back. Should be in range, and he can't knock me out. Even if he's not in range, Saw Cure will take him out. So my Dragonite is still a problem. This game's far from over, but he goes Tusk here and knocks every time. My Goldengo got touched. He actually goes washed. I think is a misplay. Cause I could whisk. He's already terrored. But cause I'm thinking what I only need my Gren to win. Depending on what the Goldengo set is. I need my Gren and my potential Xianpao. The question is what I'd set up on the Xianpao, right? It doesn't have any setup for it, so I need to one-shot everybody. So let's think this through. Because I allowed the D-Knight to give me more of a problem than I thought it would. I'm so used to having Rotom that it just struck me. Because if I go Goldengo here, I'm staring down Xianpao, which means I may lose another mon. It's only a potential. I'm debating whether or not that's worth Dragonite, because I could just go for Roost here if he stays into Will-O-Wisp. No, so from a position, the reason I'm not going to stay in is because, one, he could Wisp. But two, if I stayed in Roosted and he Volt Switch, he'd get to go to Great Tusk, and it's a worse position than him Volt Switching. It's a worse position for me than him Volt Switching. So Rotom taking a Shadow Ball here would be phenomenal for a couple reasons. So Volk after the Rocks and Spikes should go down. Oh, it's close. That's close. This is 100% Will-O-Wisp Volk. 3000% Wisp Volk. That's why I didn't Roost. Well, I mean, roosting there didn't make sense. But I need to stay Water type. No, I don't. I kind of do. I kind of do need to stay Water type, like, because I'm thinking, what don't I want to come in? I don't want Goldengo coming in. I don't want Xianpao to come in and be able to Ice Shard. But I actually wouldn't want. I'd like to see what the type of the Xianpao is. So I'm gonna Extra Sensory here. We're Psychic type. Luring Goldengo is actually somewhat useful. It's somewhat useful. And I need to keep my Goldie, because again, the way to win this game, so he goes Pow, and the Pow is, so this is great for my Xianpao, right? Because all I need now is some damage, and depending on what his Goldengo speed tier is, my Goldengo will destroy him. So the question is, what kind of Xianpao is? Well, I know what kind he is, but what? So this allows him to, he can't Sacred Sword, so he might crunch. So I give up Dragonite here. Ice Shards. I wasn't 100%. I wanted to go to my Xianpao, truth be told, but I wasn't 1,000 on that. So this is interesting, right? Because if he's banded like I think he is, because he took damage and he's not Life Orb, this allows for me to Swords Dance. And he's already terrestrialized, right? And so if he's not careful, he's gonna get counter swept. Now, what's the case is like, what the fuck? The please fucking hit. Please hit. I really want this Great Tusk on. Thank you. It's a big deal. Tusk in particular, because now the hazards are guaranteed to remain up. So it's a question of, is the Goldengo fucking Scarf? And if it is Scarfed, he has to Make It Rain. I go to my Goldengo. If he's Scarfed, he has to go for Make It Rain. Um, so let's think this through. I need Goldengo to win. If he's scarfed and goes for Make It Rain, Sax wrote him. I gotta go. If he's scarfed, I can't risk it. I cannot risk it. And so now I get to go to my Goldengo. If he's switching out, he's gonna go to Rotom, I'd assume. He might go Xianpao. Ah, fuck. So I don't think he's scarfed. I don't. Because why would you leave the... Which means Xianpao has a shot. Now, the fact that he did that does mean that I can go to my Pao. And we can try this again. I don't think he 2 kills me. It's close. And now why that matters is I can potentially Ice Shard his Goldengo if I can Ice Shard it. But then he's just going to Shadow Ball lock. So that doesn't work. Yeah, if his Goldengo is Scarf, I still don't lose guaranteed. Because right here, if he Shadow Balls and I go Goldengo, it's a wrap. If I Shadow Ball and he goes, I mean, if he makes it rain and I go Goldengo, it's a wrap. If he's not Scarf, well, we gotta try it. I still have a shot. So this is what I'm thinking. If he's scarfed and Shadow Balls, I get one more Swords Dance shot. If he's not, say Shadow Balls, I can't tell if he's... It was like, maybe risk that, and it's like, okay, well, so he wasn't scarfed. So he just bluffed it. Okay. So I won the game, but he bluffed the Choice Scarf well. So basically my play there was I either risk him being scarfed, risk him not being scarfed. There were too many risks there. I could just say, okay, fuck it, I'm going for the crunch and win the game. If he is scarf and makes it rain, then I guaranteed lose. That turn, if he Shadow Ball, if he makes it rain and I go to Goldengo, we're fine. If he Shadow Balls, the only situation where it would be a loss is like the one where it's just now, where is a guaranteed loss if because let me slow this down. So the turn he Shadow Balled and isn't scarf was a really risky one, because if I did stay in and confirm he's scarf, well, at this point he's thinking, well, I lose anyway. So why not go for the high risk? I really think that was just the psychology there. I'm going to lose anyway. Why not go for it? If he stays in, I lose. Actually, Shadow Ball wasn't... I think actually that was the better of the two, if you know you already lost the game. If he was Scarf, Shadow Ball was a risky play, because if I stay in and you're Scarf and you actually get the opportunity to, then you die. And then you just lose the game. But yeah, he bluffed the Scarf well. That was pretty much what it came down to. I knew he didn't have a win con other than to bluff the Scarf. And Scarf Goldengo is pretty, like, rare. Like, you don't see it too often. But because he kept switching in his Great Tusk on my Garganacl, I was like, maybe he's not Covert Cloak. So he did what he needed to do to win. But the team performed as I expected. It was supposed to be 3 wins there. But yeah. If you like this version, you can find it on the Team Building with Jam video. Team Building with Jam. I'm actually really proud of how he bluffed that, because this was given how the Dragonite situation won, we came back and handled it perfectly. I really like how he bluffed that just now. Because the way he was playing, I was like, there's no way he's not. It's choiced. I just don't know which one he is, because all the moves he went for won it KO. Like, very, very well done. I'm still here because I'm thinking, was there a way if I just called his bluff on the Scarf, I could still win? Which is the issue, right? If his Xianpao, if I killed his Xianpao, the turn he switched. When was it? There was a turn I pivoted around. I went from Gren to to but then again, I should have. You know what? I threw, guys. I just learned something. My Grin switched first, so he couldn't have been scarfed. But I forgot about that mechanic. So yeah, I threw there. Perfect. I was like, there's something I'm missing here. And this is why reviewing your games are so important. That's not a situation I ever think about. But if the Pokemon switches out first, that means it's the faster of the two. So Grin switched first, which means the Golden goes in Scar. So that actually falls in the category of a throw, which is phenomenal because that won't happen again, obviously, as far as like, okay, I can check with the speed tier. So yeah. Yeah, so we should have won that game. There was no excuse for that. So thanks for watching. Hit the like button down below. Hopefully y'all learned as much as I did in this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.